If you ever plan to motor west, travel my way, that's the highway, that's the best.
I used to play golf in the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Clint Eastwood is the main guy up there. Clint asks the comedians and the singers to come down and do a few minutes for all the volunteers. He asked me to come and, sing, and I said I'd be happy to. And then on the note it said, please sing one of your songs you're famous for and something from the 40s.
More than 2,000 miles on the way. Get your kicks on Route 66.
The real motivation for finishing the record was to get it done while my parents were still alive. A lot of this music is either music that they heard when they were growing up or music that they heard while I was growing up. And so, for me to finish this record and be able to, present it to them is very meaningful.
Go and take that California trip. Get your kicks on Route 66. All right.
Every time I've done something away from the Eagles, it's always sort of been nice to come back to the Eagles, and I always sort of bring something back with my experience. And going back and doing shows with the Eagles this past year, South Africa, Dubai, Jazz Fest in New Orleans, really have sort of a kind of a newfound swagger. I don't think it was a bad thing for us to break up for 14 years. I think that might have been a good thing. It gave people a chance to miss us. Yet at the same time, in 1980, when the band did break up, that was the beginning of classic rock as a radio format. So even though the band was broken up, they played the Eagles all the time, the whole while, while we weren't together.
Somebody laid the mountains low while the town got high.
Well, Don is, single-handedly, responsible for, protecting Walden Woods. I always thought it was interesting that a guy from East Texas had to go up to Boston, that hotbed of liberal intellect, and be the guy that would stand up and, try to preserve that place. And Don and I think, have been very, very good about not being too preachy. Like I said, the songs still have to be entertaining. They still got to have cool chords and a bitchin' solo and, harmony parts and, other things as well.
When you get hip to this kind of tip, yeah, go and take that California trip.
Well, when we were young, we partied after the shows and before the shows and sometimes during the shows. Obviously, when we got back together in '94, I think the playing field had changed and the rules had changed, and so we've adopted a much more workmanlike, professional sort of approach to what we do. I think it was okay to be a little bit brave and crazy in my youthier days, but nothing more unattractive than middle-aged adolescence.